I'll jump on there right now.
Payne, what up, dog? We here, man.
Chilling, man.
Woo!
There you go, man.
Happy.
Yo, the chef.
Yo,
Yes, sir.
what's popping,
Oh,
five?
hold up? How you gonna just pop up with the exclusive gear and not tell nobody?
Yo, listen. I've been had the t-shirt, brother.
Oh
You know
man,
what I mean? Those are my guys. I've been had the t-shirt, man. You know what I mean? Those are your guys too. At least
now
roughly, you
right
supposed to have
now,
one.
now I look like a bad friend.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's all good, man. I'm sure he'll charge it to your head, not your heart, brother.
Yes, sir. No, I be having a million things going on in my head already.
Yo, listen. I thought I was in the race for working a lot like a while ago, and then you and Little have just took me to another level as far as y'all work ethic. I gotta catch up, dog. You
Yo,
brothers, man.
I gotta tell y'all. So the other day I'm at work, right after we
The
have
whole segment in my mind.
we have a safety meeting every morning.
Camera,
And dude came.
settings again. Audio.
Your audio, bro.
Get out the dungeon.
Yo, Lord, you gotta mute that, God. If we can't, if you ain't gonna get right, you know what we're doing. This nigga.
But yeah,
Man. I think everybody
y'all-
who watch Sparring Minds know, like, Sammy just don't give a fuck about nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
he just-
no internet etiquette at all.
come on, man. Go ahead, man.
Ever.
I was awake
No,
here
I was
last
just
week.
saying, like, dudes
Great audio.
asking me like why I don't do any overtime. I'm
No,
like, yo,
all of a sudden I don't have any audio.
I was like, yo,
Go ahead.
I did like 700 hours last year, and dudes was looking at me like I wasn't doing nothing. I was like, damn. So
God bless you, brother.
I'm chilling this year. I ain't doing.
God bless you, man. I just listen. God bless you. That's you know.
I got zero interest in doing that many hours for jobs. Like, zero interest.
Yo,
It don't pay out in the end. You end up you get more money during the week, but you end up paying more in taxes. So it's a wash.
yeah. I mean, not even just that. Not even just the money part. I just think the things that you might miss out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like important stuff like this is where I know he's always definitely been consistent with the money don't make a thing. And this is one of those cases for me where it's like, nah, I don't want to miss out on times important stuff due to working so much. You know what I mean? And the minute that started to happen with me is when I was like, you know what? And my daughter said something to me. When she pulled my coat on it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? I was like, let me just fully dive into All Forked Up and at least get this going and, figure out some other stuff, but not just working myself to the point where I'm just missing life. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't get those moments and times back. So
it was health for me. Like when I was embarrassed to take my shirt off in my own pool last year, I was like, yeah, man, this has never been me. I've never been like this big or had a belly. Like, get the hell out of here with this.
Wifey enjoys my belly, B, so I ain't got no complaints about it over here, son. You know what I mean? You the one that got be on that GQ supermodel shit. Like I'm good over here, B.
Yo, but where the guy go, man? We gotta acknowledge first off in the pre-show, and it's to the fault of all of us. I mean, we should know these dates for each other, man. But we gotta acknowledge your brother Little had a birthday last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we gotta salute that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It looked like he had a great time by the pictures. You know what I'm saying? And as much as the brother works, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother deserves to relax, put his feet up, you know what I mean? Chill out and enjoy himself, man. So salute to you, brother Little, on your birthday. And yeah, man, we wishing you many more.
A milestone, man. 76 is a good milestone. You out here.
Oh, yo, shut up.
I turned over a new leaf. I'm not gonna sit here and fire back on no one. I'm gonna be real nice. I'll be respectful.
You too old for that?
Yes. Yes, I'm grown. I'm gonna be grown today.
Yo, notice the key words in that, fellas. Today.
Right.
today.
So what'd you end up doing, Little? Like, how'd you celebrate that?
Yeah, talk to us, man.
Why you all up in my business? I was like,
Oh shit.
like
Oh, shit.
I was trying to be what is it? Incognito? Is that what it's called?
Incognito.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Well, you
I was just trying to be low key, but nah. Actually, I went. I was taken out. Went to the Moxie. Real nice little hotel, but had dinner. Damn, I can't even. Ruth Chris. Matter of fact, was it Ruth Chris? I think so.
Nice.
I think so.
That's a good dinner over there.
Yeah, definitely is.
Good dinner over there.
Had a good time. It was cool. I was tired, but it was definitely cool.
Word.
Word up, brother.
Janae, what's good, Queen? We appreciate you rocking out with the Sparring Minds this evening.
You already know, man.
Big Janae.
Just to wrap that in a nice little bun real quick, right? Because I don't think we give niggas their flowers as often as we should, especially as black men, right? So, I don't know if I have too many people more important in my life especially over the last 10 years than Little, right? Little's kind of been big brother.
This nigga being soft right now.
No,
Okay.
A little bit of real talk. So, he's been big brother for the last 10 years, and so it's nothing but respect for what he's been able to bring to my life. And, I'm very appreciative of that. So salute to your birthday, man. I told wife, I said I wanted to send a little care package up. So just say, I appreciate you being in my life and appreciate what you've brought. And I just didn't get an opportunity to, right? But I went and I called the company because it was something I wanted to kind of get them something. So I called the company, they hit me back with some options. And so I was going through some of the options, and I'm gonna try to get you something real nice put together. So expect that soon.
I respect it.
Yeah, so I called up a company called Bosley, right?
Jesus.
And they were able to. They said, "Listen, we got options in black. We got a little red tint. We got a brown." I said, "Show me the brown, B." And they showed me the brown. I thought it was excellent, man. I thought it was an excellent little thing they put together for me. So I'm gonna go ahead. I got the order placed. And as soon as they send that up,
you gotta relax, B.
I'm gonna get that over to you.
Yo.
I just want to show how much I appreciate the God. You know what I mean? Like I think
gotta relax.
Yeah, man.
Let me call up my hitters. We're about to come down to Florida.
Oh,
we got some shit to settle.
Shaved off about 20 years right there.
Yo.
Straight disrespectful.
Oh shit.
I was complaining a little bit with Little earlier because I was like, yo, this nigga Hightower ain't gonna be here. And fellas, I'm not making this shit up. I promise you I'm not making this up. Hey, Facebook user, we don't know who you are. Payne, you on Facebook? You monitoring that? You see what's going on, brother?
I can't see who that is. I seen Danae about it right now. I can't see the whose name.
What do they got to subscribe to?
They gotta go on the podcast page in order for their names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a whole process where they had to register or some shit like that. So I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep running by him every week.
Yeah. But so no, I did talk to Hightower. He's on the shelf this week. But this is no bullshit. I said, yo, Aunt, you out this week? He said, yeah, I'm traveling. I said, all right, cool, bet. He said, hold on, Chuck. The private jet is loading. I'm not even bullshitting you, fellas. The nigga Hightower went to the fucking Masters on a private jet.
Man.
That Puma money, man. That
Puma money.
That Puma, man. That Puma. You know what I mean? Glad he's on my team. Yo, straight up.
He got some new heat coming my way. He left some stuff at the house. He got a care package for me at the house. I gotta pick up.
Hightower or word. Salute to God.
Yeah.
Salute to God for him not being here. Payne, I'm gonna give you this 5 minutes, God, because you was trying to air me out in the Sparring Minds group chat. So you got the floor. 5 minutes, God. Explain to me how Black Lives Matters buying a $6 million mansion makes sense. I'm all here for it.
Allegedly. Let's not forget.
Here we go.
Allegedly.
Here we go.
Just as what's her name? Allegedly misappropriated funds. We don't know yet. It's just a charge. So we can't pass judgment. We can have an opinion, but we can't pass judgment. That's for the judge to do.
They've already confirmed that, yes, they did buy a $6 million mansion, and they detailed the uses of the $6 million mansion.
I haven't kept up with the story since that.
I have, because you tried to air me out, so I stayed tuned to what the fuck was going on over there.
Because you were judging beforehand.
That's that key.
He definitely was.
Now that's totally different, and we're giving it with no context because people don't know what we're talking about people putting out their business or allowing their business to be put out. It leaves room for people to judge that.
Judge, have an opinion, however you want to slice it and dice it. But
Black Lives Matter bought a mansion for $6 million.
I didn't follow up on that, but that's spectacular.
If they did it, then
donated funds, my nigga.
That's spectacular. If
they did it, that's bullshit. But like,
they've already admitted to doing it. They said they were doing it to provide an atmosphere of social growth, and that they're going to have studios in the house, and they're going to have lists where people can do their social media.
Is that all going to be free?
It's in their crib. What do you mean?
Hey, listen, if it was with their money, if it's with our money and everything, I mean, it should be free.
Yo. Oh, shit. Nah, you missing the point on that one, bro.
But now that's if they don't have that stuff already there, then that can't fly. If they had that stuff already built in, that might go over in court, even though I think like that's bullshit. And again, that's judging because they put their shit out there.
Yes, that's just
like when you fuck up, you leave room to be judged. When you put your shit out there, you leave room to be judged. Don't fuck up and don't put your shit out there if you don't want to hear judgment or criticism.
Y'all just allow anything around here, man.
Black dollar.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I happen to peep that. That's smooth.
Listen, there's no exclusiveness with it. You know what I'm saying? My guy was selling some t-shirts. I hit him up. Yo, D, I need a t-shirt, bro. Yo, man, what size? I got you. And all y'all know the same people I know, so you could easily hit them up and get. I'm just trying to throw my black dollar around to my brothers. You know what I mean? Doing this thing, and both of these brothers have thrown their black dollars towards me. You know, what I'm saying? With stuff. So you know that goes both ways, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, make sure you brothers, y'all hit them when the show comes or after the show and say, yo, can we get some black dollars merch, please? And I'm sure they'll help take care of you.
I'm gonna have to have Rock bring it to the next game night.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't think there needs to be any more delay, right? Let's go ahead and get it. Episode 104.
104, baby.
Sparring Minds, Dollar and Cents.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Hustle, I love that title, brother. I love that title.
Black Dollar.
Hey yo, Donut White, no muzzle. Sparring Minds live every Friday. Let's go. Look, it's Sparring Minds. If you don't know the name, look us up. You know it's all facts when you got Chef Maine cooking up a couple of brothers who know all about the struggle. Black excellence, you know we just work hard and hustle. Whenever you want that urban talk, you know we keep it real. Mr. Maritime on the mic, yeah, you know the deal is real life. Hotel High Tower bringing you the feel. DJ Payne, keep it 100. Matter of fact, keep it a mill. Let's go.
Peace.
What's good? Hey, yo,
Hey,
hey,
man.
let's bring these boys in the right way, man. Can you come on, man? We got a resident DJ here. Let's get the red carpet rolled out, B. Let's do something. Let's
You
get
already
right.
know. Let's get it. Yeah.
You always try to put me on the spot with last second.
Come on, man. You're supposed to have those hands ready, brother.
Come on,
You're supposed to have those
Pain,
hands ready. Yo, Pain,
We
listen.
we 104 in. We 104 in.
Bring it back around the way, Pain. Come on, baby.
All right,
Wait,
man. I gotta go through so much shit. Hold up.
What up, DL?
Yo,
Let's do that
this
again.
guy's not a DJ, man. I'm telling you, this guy is not a DJ.
Well, wait,
Black Dollar, we appreciate
wait a
you
minute.
rocking out with us. Oh, go ahead, guys.
well, hold on. Where's he from?
Oh shit.
Where-
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
gosh.
He's starting early, huh? Yo,
Where's-
Pain, you
where's
making us
the
look
DJ?
bad, baby.
So
You making
Where's
us look bad.
where you from?
Say it out loud with your chest.
What? Dorchester, Ripley Road, man. Come on, man. Everybody know
Dorchester, baby.
everybody
Yeah.
know that.
I'm sorry.
I feel bad for you
Dorchester
growing up.
forever.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I feel bad for y'all growing up there.
Yeah.
You
That's tough.
shouldn't. You should feel happy.
Nah,
Yeah,
we're
man.
starting this early. We got to get that going.
Oh,
Cause see,
Come on,
you know,
Rock. Y'all know y'all got y'all swag from Roxbury. Come on, Rock.
Oh, please, little. We don't
Because-
even want to talk about
Look,
what I
we-
saw you doing in high school, brother. Listen, knock it off, brother. Yo, listen, Sparring Minds, episode 104. You know what I'm saying? Hotel High Towers away. Salute my brother. But this is an
Salute.
episode that I've definitely been looking forward to. You know, these two brothers, man, are just good brothers, even though one brother is from Roxbury. Still a good boy. He's still a good brother.
oh,
And he's a brother of mine.
Oh,
Let him know, man.
disrespect.
He's a brother of mine too.
Disrespect.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Roxbury, Dorchester collabing together, and we got the duo, Black Dollar, in the building. You
Black
know what I'm
Dollar.
saying?
Beautiful thing.
We definitely been looking forward to this interview. It's a couple months in the making, because when we did the Sparring Minds mixtape, you guys contributed the amazing track Outside, and that's
Love
like
that
that was an amazing lead-off hit song. That's the first song on the CD. That's just how
Word.
special
Word.
that track is. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, brothers. We appreciate you, and welcome to Sparring Minds, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you.
technically, that was DL's record. You know what I'm saying?
well,
With the
and-
remix.
Oh, it was Roxbury.
Tell him about that, D.
it was the remix. So first off, thank you for having us. Yeah, so Outside the remix was the first time me and Rock ever really recorded, you know what I'm saying? And so I thought that was a very not to get all super mushy or whatever, but it was a special record. So, you know, and we're honored to have had it be featured on a project and the lead singer, you know what I'm saying? And we shot the video, you know, of course.
Hey.
Unfortunately, Rock had to be, you know,
Where at?
Is it-
Say it.
I mean, he was over there he was like School Street or something like that. I mean, I
School
don't
Street
really,
Yes, sir.
you know,
Yes,
and
sir.
it was against my wishes, but like he really on that. And I was like, Dan, can we just shoot it in Jamaica Plain? And he was like, nah, I gotta be here. And so, you know, like we shot it, you know what I'm saying? There was like a bunch of like, you know, stray cats and like gunshots and broken glass and just craziness, and the videographer didn't feel safe, and you know what I mean? So yeah, we pulled it out. And then when we shot it, it was beautiful. The trees was you know what I mean? The trees were green.
We all grew up in the 80s and 90s. Let's take a tour through Roxbury in the 80s and 90s.
One word.
Okay.
One word. Dudley.
Word.
That's it.
Straight up.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. We had that in
down
common. I'm not dissing for the record, but I'm just saying broken glass. Come on, man. That was
I worked down Dudley.
So,
Broken glass everywhere.
pissing on the
Fellas.
stage. They just don't care.
So, fellas, I gotta ask though, the name Black Dollar, what does it mean to you guys, and what brought you two guys from different sides of the town? What brought you guys together to start making music and to form Black Dollar collectively?
You want to start that, D? You want me to go?
Well, start with the history of. So me and you like the history, and then I'll tap in with the other part.
All right, so boom. So back in like '99, me and Daniel met each other at this through a mutual friend. We auditioned for like a commercial, basically like a mass publication about like talking about the dangers of smoking cigarettes and that kind of stuff, like a PSA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did the audition where we had to like Daniel did a rhyme to the remember that Lost Boys Renee joint?
Yeah.
We like beatbox it, like an instrumental version of that song. Daniel rapped the commercial. I was beatboxing with him. So that's how we initially met. And we remained friends over the years. Daniel, of course, was making music more consistently. I did a little bit of rapping here and there, but I was kind of like off the scene for a grip. But DL was definitely more consistent in terms of just, making a stamp in the hip hop community. Then fast forward, we kind of just reconnected and, around just like reconnecting initially as friends, not even nothing to do with music, just kind of like building with each other, our families hanging out with each other. But, gradually, man, I was like, yo, what's up with us making some music together? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you want to take it from there, D, but that's kind of how it evolved.
And so, Rock had definitely asked about that. And me just making so many songs and really trying to figure out, like I'm past the point of like making a song and being happy about it and sending it to the local DJs. You know what I'm saying? It's actually the business of it now. You know what I'm saying? And so you make a great record that you believe in and you think has a space in the marketplace. Now, what do you do with it? So I'm in that space, right? So I'm not so much in the creative space, but Rock, was very persistent and wanted to do it, and it made sense. And I always thought he was dope. You know what I'm saying? And so we started this project. Black Dollar is something that we both it, and I really started listening to it and taking this idea. This feedback, is that y'all hear that? Does this sound really crazy?
Yeah, I think it's on your end, God.
On me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? So I wonder. Hold on. Let me see. Is that better?
A little bit.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it was because it was on a Bluetooth. That might have been a problem. But so, long story short, like the Black Dollar, man, a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, she's Irish. I tell a story all the time. Like, we would go to lunch together or something, or, like in the middle of the day, run a quick errand. She would go to a local Irish market and buy food and goods directly from the county of where she was from, and she never bragged about it. It just was an inherent thing that she was doing. Or when she bought, alcohol, she would buy Bailey's because Bailey's was made in the county where she was from. And so even talking to her, like the insurance agent she uses is one that the father introduced as an Irish agency that the whole entire family uses. So it was like, damn, like, how come we don't do that? You know what I'm saying? And we were brought up to think that white ice is colder. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see like a black shop and a white shop, and we'll deliberately pass the black shop. And I never grew up on I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blackity black, and I'm black. Like, that wasn't my thing. However, I think, just with seeing so much, with Nipsey Hussle being murdered, and seeing what he was trying to do in the community, and the more I started delving into like community relations and affairs, and just really wanting to be intentional, with everything, I thought that everything made sense. So, Rock and I went back and forth with Black Dollar as far as the name, because he was like, oh man, that's a heavy name to be carrying. I don't know, man. What about if we name it? And I'm like, nah, it's Black Dollar. That's what it is. And we standing on that, you know what I'm saying? And so it is a heavy title. However, there's no wavering. And so, the last thing I'll say is, we have to be, I might jump in front of Rockland if somebody has some issues and some questions, right? Because I'm well able to have that argument and that discussion. But I'm not saying BIPOC Dollar, right? Black, indigenous, people of color. That's an important argument. And other people are having that argument, and there's a space for that. I am saying black dollar. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. So my wife, who's a black woman, doesn't have the luxury of being identified as a woman of color, and then maybe she's something else. Right. She's a black woman. Right. My son's a black young man. Wow. So that's who I'm speaking to. And it's niche, and there are black people who are sometimes offended by us even saying black dollar. But you know what? This message is not for you, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Word. So Daniel, I think I want to stay there for a second. Why do you feel like, because if you look at the landscape, our community is the only community that doesn't understand that. Our community is the only that we don't get supporting our own. For whatever reason, we have this stigma of we'd rather buy somewhere else. We're the only community that does that. Indians don't do it. White people don't do it. Asians certainly don't do it. It's only us. And so what's your thought on why that is?
It's social engineering. Just, our experience in America is just unique. You know what I'm saying? And whether we're having a reparations conversation and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, our experience is unique. And I think other groups that have been wronged, there's been some intentional actions being done to right those wrongs in some way. The Native Americans were brutalized. You know what I'm saying? However, we know what Native Americans have. We know, you know what I mean? You go to Foxwoods, you like, we can't buy into that. Yeah. We can't, like, there's no ownership equity opportunities in that. And I'm okay with that because I'm cool with that, right? But for us, we're the only ones that we feel that we need to apologize for practicing group economics. And, again, I certainly am guilty of it. We were brought up to think that white ice is colder. A family member who I love is open about saying if she needs a heart surgeon, she's not gonna have a black heart surgeon. That breaks my heart. Wow. I get it because that's generational, right? Like with 50 plus, like there's a certain thing with that. I completely get it. I vehemently disagree with that. Right? We assume that the Asian's gonna be smarter, but like all we could swear on here, right? I heard y'all swear.
Absolutely.
That's all bullshit, right? So, but again, I think that so the conversation that I have, and speaking for me, and then Rock can definitely chime in. Like the conversation that I have is practicing group economics, right? From a consumer standpoint, and then from a business owner standpoint. So, for example, and I also like to put things in layman's terms and make it tangible so people can actually understand it, because that's how I understand it. We can't just go around saying, buy black. Like, what does that mean, right? But if I am using Chef Main's services, right, and I'm paying him and keeping the dollar within us, and then he goes to Italy and, treats his lady and goes out and buy Gucci belt and Prada and all that, like that's broken. That takes right. He now has to utilize Rock services with his junk removal for when he's getting a brick and mortar for his restaurant. That's how it has to work. Now, the flip side of that is as a business owner, we have to also deliver excellence and compete. So if it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, we all know if we're hungry, we could go outside and we can get Chinese food. But our soul food restaurants, our vegan restaurants, they're closed, or they have limited hours or whatever. And there's different reasons for that. So I'm not blaming. But the point is, we have to compete. So if you're supposed to be open at 8, you make sure that you're there at 7:45 so the doors can be open at 8. You cannot open the door at 8:07. And no one cares that your kid's sick. No one cares that your car broke down. Do your job and compete. So that's what I'm saying when I talk about black dollar. You know what I'm saying? It's a multi-leveled, multifaceted conversation. You know what I'm saying?
And like to harp on, my fault, Chuck. Just to harp on his last point, it's like the saying in corporate America for us, I guess it's a unwritten rule. Like, you got to do the job 3 times better than that white guy does.
That's a fact.
You got to be on their time. Like if you open at 8, like you said, you should be in there at 7, opening up, getting everything ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like we gotta really do that because I'm huge on the black dollar thing. Like my realtor's black, Rock's my realtor, my pool guy's black, my caterer's black, my party, like my interior director and decorator's black. Like the only person I think that I've dealt with that isn't of color, and I haven't even dealt with him directly, but it's my guy. He's a real estate lawyer. But like, you know what I mean? Like if you like, it's like what you said with Maine. If you give him money like for his services and he goes to Italy and spends that money, it takes the money out the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So Rockland, one of the things that comes up in this conversation is, we have to support the Black community 100%. I get that, right? But it's also on the negative side of that world, Black people are the first and loudest when things don't go right, right? So when I hired Jermaine's services, and in the steaks not the way I want it cooked, we're on every social media platform. I'd have called every cousin I got. You know what I mean?
Dogging them out.
How can we combat that? Really, what turns out to be negative advertising for what we're trying to put across here. How do we combat that?
It's funny. I see D smiling because he loves to talk on that. But I'm gonna say this. I think that I think that we need to be the example of not going on social media and blasting people. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes I hear Black folks dog other Black people out. Like, why don't we never do this? Why don't we never do that? And I understand that it may come from a place of genuine concern.
Feedback coming from your end, God. You might be too close to the mic, or I'm not sure what it is.
Is that from me or is it on my end?
I'm not sure.
I muted myself just to be safe. I'm muting my mic.
Yeah, that's you, bro. A little bit.
Okay. How about now? Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So I think that when we sometimes dog each other out, it may come from a genuine place of love and concern. But what I try to do is combat that and say, well, no, not everybody's doing that. I'll acknowledge that, hey, me and Daniel, we intentionally do not go on social media and blast people, but instead we'll take somebody at the side, we'll still support. And if we have some constructive criticism, we'll talk to the owner or talk to the manager.
We got a lot of haters in the Black community, though. A lot of Black people don't like seeing other Blacks, do a little bit more than what they're doing. I don't know.
I mean, again, I think part of it is, you doing your part and influencing people in your circle.
Right.
Because that's how you can, that's how things can change in I think a genuine way.
It reverberates.
Yeah, there's true accountability and like a community effort. And then you can gradually use your platform to spread that to the masses. You know what I'm saying?
And what I'll say, if you don't, so just to tap onto that, because and Rockland knew, because I'm like, damn, yo, and I just talk so much. But when you ask that question, I'm like, yo, that's me. But so another part of Black Dollar, the initiative is basically, so I believe Gandhi, be the change in the world that you want to see or that you wish to see, right?
Yeah.
So we know that these things exist, but for me, I have taken a position a while ago before Black Dollar, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, you cannot go on social media and blast said restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And I personally called, in Maine, and Sammy.
I want to jump into that because it was funny talking about blasting on social media and thinking back to the last time we did business and how you called me and was like, yo, Maine, like, yo, just a heads up, I want to let you know, I told someone, he never gave me the name and I didn't really care to know. He said, yo, someone said in a way like, you're using Jermaine's service or you like his food. But the way it was said, it was like think he can cook, you know what I'm saying? And I just thought that was super dope. And I love the honesty in it. And I know that's my friend because that's someone that called me to say, yo, this is what someone thinks. But by the way, I'm not listening to them. I'm still going to support you like I have these last few, years or whatever the case may be, but just putting you a heads up, kind of like, so be on your A game, so to speak.
Yeah. And I think I don't 100%. I remember the conversation, and oddly enough, I was in New York. I was at Urban World, the film festival for the song Outside, for the video. So I remember talking to you when I was there, and basically, it was someone that had something that happened, and I basically was just making you aware of it and letting you know, and whether you correct it or not is on you. But my due diligence is to let you know. And so to bring it full circle to literally what just happened yesterday, there's a very popular, and again, I don't feel like, let me say the two parts, because both things can exist, right? We cannot go on social media and be blasting each other because we're already starting far behind the 8 ball, right? So we don't have the grace of tearing down on social media and then people sharing it and tagging it and liking it and all that. However, that doesn't mean that we have to settle for mediocrity either. You know what I'm saying? No. However, like for me, what I always say to people is keep that same energy. So when you go to Applebee's or you go to Strega or you go to Ruth Chris and you want to complain about the food being not as hot, then you make that complaint. You go on your socials and you say whatever, but don't go to Zaz or go to Juice Up and put that on social media and blast them, because we have a tendency of doing that. And it's like an automatic reflex. And so literally I've become the Black restaurant whisperer, where people are texting me left and right when they have bad experiences in restaurants. And so then I call the owner and talk to him or not. There's one particular owner that, like, again, I'm not going to say, his restaurant, God bless, right? But I've done my due diligence of trying to help improve systems and offer services free, by the way. And it's not being reciprocated. So I back off because I genuinely care. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to the story, it just happened where there's a very popular restaurant. They have a new location for a certain time. There was complaints about the prices, right, amongst a lot of Black people and then some white people. And I talked to him personally and was like, yo, just so you know, heads up, boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you did kind of a price comparison with like comparable items nearby. You know what I'm saying? Do with this as you wish. I just wanted to let you know. And that was it. I told him in private. That was that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he does, if he changes prices, if he doesn't, that's on him. But at least I told him instead of talking behind his back and, oh, I'm not going there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, if we all kind of do that, because no one's above improvement. No one's above criticism and critique. It's how you do it that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Right. So anyway, that's another part of Black Dollar for sure.
I think for paying the, I know when my wife and I, when we travel, right, we use social media. We use Google reviews. We use all of those kind of things to kind of say, hey, where are we going to eat when we go out of town? Well, we're going to New York for the weekend. We're going to these 3 restaurants based on online reviews, right? And so what we're talking about tonight is something that's literally a business killer for just maybe a 30%, 20% of what could be your target audience, which is traveling people who are looking for something to eat. And they're getting these bad reviews from your own community, from the people who look like you, act like you, mess with you. And again, the youth of today, that's their Bible, right? Social media is what they do. Right? They don't even care about word of mouth anymore. It's not what they don't care about word of mouth. They're not going to reach out to Daniel and be like, hey, Daniel, what do you think? That's not them. Right? They're going on social media and saying, oh, this place got 5 stars. Let me read the reviews.
Right.
Now, Jessica, who went there last night, they don't season their food. Pass. Yeah. Swipe right past it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're literally destroying the bread and butter of the community when you do things like that, especially in the social media world.
Yeah. And people, they're not, and Rock and I use intentionality a lot, right? And that, again, man, it's important to be intentional with, like, you can share your gripes, right? Some people, everyone uses social media different. I personally don't. I mean, I think Rockland feels stronger about it than I do. But I don't care for social media. However, I know that it's helpful, and as a business and services, like, you know, whatever, right? But I don't use social media as my personal diary. I don't use social media as my therapist. I don't use social media to air out my grievances. You know what I'm saying? If you feel so compelled to post something on social media about a restaurant, you could simply be like, oh, I ain't coming to this motherfucking place ever again. Fair, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to tag the place and say at blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
You know
If
what
you
it is,
feel
Daniel?
so...
You know what's interesting about that, Daniel?
There's definitely a way to do it.
We come from a time where we're not beholden to social media. That's where we come from. We come from an era where we was out here doing this before social media, and social media doesn't need to really always dictate my opinion on things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think today's climate, everything is social media. And so, like you mentioned, they're using it for therapy. They're using it for casting their opinion. They're using it for everything. So people of our ilk don't necessarily understand that logic or that path of that choice that they're making to use social media in that way.
I think what comes to mind, man, is like just kind of continuing the conversation around like how do we change things. I think we create the culture that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? And you do it one step at a time. So if we're taking music and messaging and branding that into a lifestyle message. So it's deeper than music. You know what I'm saying? It's right. Literally getting on this podcast and having this conversation, and then hopefully that influences other people, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's how we do it, because social media is a beast. Don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of people who just go on there and just spread all types of, negativity, et cetera, et cetera. But think about the neighborhoods that we come from. And think about the stereotypes that are attached to, anywhere, Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, whatever. Like, one thing we have in common is crime and poverty. You know what I'm saying? And the negative stereotypes that are attached to that. But in my humble opinion, and I think you would agree, not every single resident that comes from an impoverished neighborhood or a crime-riddled neighborhood is automatically a street person or a gangster. It's just not what it is.
And that, like,
I
think that picture, I posted the picture with you, me, and Ears from
yes, absolutely.
Three different flavors of human beings, and there's still so many more in the spectrum from where we grew up. But
absolutely.
Like, we grew up with, like, my best friend's probably a hood dude. You know what I mean? But like, I'm the athlete. Rock's the MC. Ears is like the hood politician. Like, it's like you don't have to be what your circumstances are.
Mm-hmm. And I think to interject too, and that's a good point, Payne. And I think for with that example, I saw people in our neighborhood that were exemplifying something different from what everybody else said the neighborhood is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Despite what media would say, and obviously we didn't have social media, but we still had we had the news outlets, and we had negative stereotypes associated with Black communities all over America, not just in Boston. You know what I'm saying? So I think, I just want to shine some light on the importance of, like, we can't always change everything, but we have control over what we do individually, and then we can start within our circle and within our, our community. I think that's one way that you take a step towards genuine change. Mm-hmm. And it may not, and the outcomes may not look the way we want it to look, but it doesn't mean that that impact is not happening. You know what I mean?
Well, and the other thing that I wanted to add on to that point, right? I think when it comes to there's certain things, right? And I think that this term has been thrown around a lot in the past maybe 3 years, right? Where Black people are not a monolith, and we don't all think the same, and we're complex, and we're all blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? As of the past maybe 6-7 months, I've started thinking maybe we should be more of a monolith. And what I mean by that is I believe in being on code. And so, for example, and there's a million examples of it, right? But I'm going to use local and I'm going to use national. So locally, the situation that happened at Stashes on Blue Hill Ave, right? Yeah. Where they supposedly they told the girl to get out and called her a nigger bitch, right? Yeah. Now, Whether that's true or not, she said that that's what happened. Me and my man, you know, shout out to Jeff 2 times. We went back and forth. He's like, what if that was your daughter? And blah, blah, blah. And this, that, and the third. And I'm like, look, I don't know how I would handle that. However, it's words, right? And my dollar, my black dollar is very powerful and will speak louder than me physically doing something, right? That's going to cost me my black dollars. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that happened. And so what can happen is once that goes all out and it's on social media and people are protesting, and I knew when that was happening, I was only going to last like a week or two, right? And people go right back to stashes. And even while that was happening, even though people weren't walking in stashes, people were still using Uber Eats and DoorDash and all that, because you have to realize that that was right in the middle of the pandemic. So just because you're not seeing physical feet walk in, black people are still utilizing and patronizing that service. No judgment, right? My point is, like, we have to be
there
on code.
There should be judgment there.
Well, so the reason why I say no judgment is because we have to be on code for something, right? And I feel like we tend to be on code for, in my opinion, the wrong things, and it gets altered and becomes something else. So on a national level, you know, Vlad TV, I watched a lot of Vlad, right? I don't watch him anymore because of what happened with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and him misquoting him and people calling and explaining and asking him to apologize and him not apologizing. So I'm not Muslim, right? I'm not a Nation of Islam. I'm not Fruit of Islam. However, Nation of Islam, the Fruit of Islam, has done a lot for our people in a real way. So regardless of ideologies and whatever, like Minister Louis Farrakhan has the utmost respect. My father respected him and my father died. So I look at Farrakhan a certain way. He actually reminds me of my father in a certain way, right? So disrespecting him, he is a god to some people. You can't do that. Right? If we do that to a rabbi, like there's sharp, fierce repercussions, right? But when people do it to us, it's like, oh, well, you know, and so people still watch Vlad TV. I'm not fucking with Vlad TV.
Jermaine and I don't agree on much. We don't agree on much, right? We do 100% agree on our feelings on Vlad.
Yeah, fuck Vlad.
He's the absolute worst.
Fuck Vlad.
He's the picture of culture vulture. He's the picture of I hate Vlad.
Well, Royce the 5'9" summed it up perfectly for me. What he said is that he said that Vlad takes our pain and resells it to us. You know what I'm saying? And so now who do you blame? Do you blame Vlad or you blame the bozos that go on there and share their fucking criminal exploits? Right? That's a whole different conversation. But my point is, we have to be on code. So if all of us on here say, hey, you know, we're not going to, and I'm only saying this because I'm right in front of it and they're closed. We're not going to the Best Buy in Dedham because they threw my grandmother out and she broke her hip. If we say that on this platform, right, and we share that on our socials, then I don't expect one of my closest friends or one of my associates to say, oh, fuck that, I'm still gonna go because I need that flat screen. You can't sacrifice and be on code with us and for this to not do that. And so when it comes to, you know, and you all mentioned earlier, and I heard it, I don't necessarily want to dig into it because there's certain involvements that I have, right? But when it comes to the Black Lives Matter or whatever, you know, and the local situation that's going on, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it's unrelated to that and it's like Jussie Smollett, and, you know, like for me, I didn't use my platform to share stories or weigh in and whatever, because you know what? At the end of the day, and I've seen in real time that the shit that's reported is not necessarily what's on paper, right? And a narrative, just like we all were in school, a position paper, the definition of it is you figure out what your position is and you find support and evidence to support that, right? So it is what it is. I'm just saying in the sense of what we do rally behind sometimes, in my opinion, is not the things that is uplifting. It's the things that's like, yeah, see? Yeah, I told you. Yep. Yeah. Get them. And it's like, well, what does that do for you exactly? You know what I'm saying? Like Black Lives Matter hasn't done anything, I don't think, for me in my personal life, right? I think the sentiment is important. The business, I don't have any Black Lives Matter clothes. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I can care less. The people that poured into that are the people, a lot of white guilt, and good. I want them to pour into Black Dollar too. I'll take your white guilt money. I'll take it gladly.
That's a oh man, now that was a great segment there, and I guess we kind of touched on it, but I want to ask, like, you guys, like, how important is the black dollar, so to speak? Like, how important is it, and or do we realize how, or do we know how important our dollar is? Do we really value that as a people in the community?
Super important. I think this so to kind of tie things together, I think that there's a lot of brokenness in the Black community because look at our history, on many levels, from slavery and being robbed from our culture to this notion that fair skin and light skin is and white people of European descent are better and superior, and having a system that's embedded in racism and just the generational impact of that. And I think that in terms of when you talk about, like, the black dollar, and we brought up how Black folks are always, there's a lot of us hating on each other and tearing each other down. We have so much brokenness on many levels that need to be addressed. I think one key thing to your question about how important is the black dollar, it's super important in terms of just us understanding how money works. And that alone, there's many levels to that, but understanding how money works, understanding what it means to circulate dollars within your community and why you should do it and how that can impact you, your family, your friends, et cetera, et cetera. That's one of many things that we need to do to address some of our brokenness and trauma. But I mean, to your question, it's super important. And education, I think Daniel and I, it's not like we're experts on finances and economics, but I think that we know enough to say that there's a problem. And part of the problem is us not valuing ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? So,
Rock, let me stay there with you real quick, because I know Sammy and I were talking offline, and I was explaining to him how, in my opinion, Jay-Z's 444 album, to me, resonates more than Reasonable Doubt, right? Like, I think you're able to get an understanding of what money means to the community in 444, whereas in Reasonable Doubt, you were getting, I need this, I'm going to do it by any means necessary, right? Talk to me about your content, how it's grown over the years, and how you're able to deliver your message now that you see life in a different way.
Well, I'm gonna put it like this. First and foremost, from the gate, I was never a street dude ever, and I want to make that like crystal clear. Like, I grew up in Four Corners, and we moved in '87, so there were people who were very street in the area. But between my parents being pastors, between a lot of the people from my church lived in the neighborhood, and the street dudes also encouraged me to not get into the street. I had like everything around me, kind of like kept me on that path. So I think the reason why I bring that up, though, is because my lifestyle, I think, resonates even more than any music that I've done. Because my music is a reflection of who I am in real life. And a lot of people who know me from back then to now, they can see the evolvement, but like I've been pretty consistent in terms of like, yo, Rock's a cool dude, spread love dude, no drama. That's been my lifestyle. So even though I didn't go from hustling on the block to, now I'm talking about passing down wealth, I can still say that, I've been consistent in terms of spreading love, but I'm just kind of like, become more intelligent along the way. And I have a little bit more depth to me, I guess. That's if I would answer your question directly, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
If you don't, so just to piggyback, so and just to be clear, because not everyone knows this, but you know, the dollar circulates in the Black community 6 hours, as opposed to, you know, Asian community. You know, I forgot what I mean, you know, 27 days, 17 days, 16 days. You know, Black community, $1 circulates 6 hours before it leaves. So that's brass hard tax facts, right? And think about your personal spending. Think about that. So, you know, so I'm just going to say this piece and so when I talk about like tangible items, right? If you buy coffee 5 days a week and you go to Starbucks, maybe 2 days out of the week, you can go to Dudley Cafe. You can go to Ripple Cafe, right?
Yeah.
You see how I incorporated Roxbury and Dorchester in there because I want to be mindful of the space, right?
Silver Slipper for some
People,
pancakes.
you're about to have me reevaluate my whole life.
You
God.
know what I'm saying? So
Definitely not Silver Slipper.
But like
Sam cakes in the morning. I don't know.
But like, you know, it's a matter of just, you know, incorporating something into your practice. Like when you're hungry, do you just kind of run and go and get Italian food? Or do you go to Rhythm and Raps in Brighton, right? Or do you go to Oasis in
Four Corners?
Four Corners. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, or do you go to Jazz?
Hey, hold on a second, man. Hey, Sparring Minds listeners, I'm not going to sit here and let this shit happen much longer. We've been running our mouth on this show for 56 minutes, and they've been talking about Roxbury and Dorchester, and I kind of said, okay, I'm going to let these niggas rock and do it. Hey, man, you ain't going to disrespect Mattapan for too much longer, bro.
Oh, Mattapan, all right.
Hey, man, let's knock it off, B. We got to get focused in here, man.
No, well, okay, well, let's be clear. Like, I live in Mattapan, right?
Mattapan, get love.
I live in Mattapan, but I'm from Roxbury, and I say it proudly. And I know Rock, every chance he gets, he's like, you know, every time he speaks, like before he says good morning, like Dorchester comes out. So between him, between Maine, between Jeff 2 times, I have to constantly be on defense and represent for Roxbury. So shout out to Stizzy Left Lane. Shout out to Man Terror. We hold Roxbury up.
But I mean, if Boston was the Chicago Bulls of the 90s, Jordan and Pippen would be Roxbury and Dorchester, and Mattapan would be Horace Grant.
All right, so Sparring Minds, this was a great show. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We're going to get the fuck out of here because clearly these dudes don't got no respect on this show. Hey, come on, man.
Payne said it, man.
I think Bill Cartwright, at least it was
Shit. Yo, come on, Payne, don't do that, man.
Hey, now you don't make him leave the screen.
I still made him part of the big three.
Damn.
Come on, I could have said Bill Cartwright, Will Purdue, or something crazy.
Damn, that's family business. I'm gonna stay out of that. I'm gonna
stay. Fuck this show, man. Y'all can have this show.
I'm gonna stay out of that one. But what I will say to Rockland's point about, so like the way he grew up and the way I grew up, my parents both were in the street where like I remember being with my mother when she went to one of the workers that she had on Ziegler Street and was picking up money from him, and he was short, and I literally seen her. She told me to keep my head down, and she pistol whipped him in the bushes in Ziegler Street. So I seen that, right? I remember going with my father and being in the back seat, and he thought I was asleep, and I like peeked up and seen him like collecting, you know what I'm saying, like stacks. And so like going, you know, getting up in the morning, getting up at maybe 2 a.m, going to the bathroom and seeing, you know, on the table at least $100,000 in cash. So I saw that. I saw scales on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally took my finger and put it on a plate and taste what Coke tastes like when I was maybe 10, right? So I grew up in that. I definitely like did some hustling shit and whatever. Like I tried my stint at being a drug dealer when I was in high school, and it lasted like probably 2 days. And a Somalian girl that sat in the back of the class told on me. I got expelled, and I said, I'm not good at this. You know what I'm saying? So And but I'm thankful to all the opportunities, because similar to Rock, all the people that were really out there and living it like that saw something in me and didn't want me to go to that. And I feel like that's what we have lost nowadays. Well, we are not recognizing our talent. We're not recognizing our basketball players, our doctors, our engineers, our plumbers, our ballet dancers. Like, we're not recognizing our talent that comes up in these situations that are great. Venus and Serena, like, that's an example of where they came from and where they are. You know what I'm saying? And that's not only the father, and the father gets all the glory, but that's the people, those are the gangbangers in the street that was like, yo, hands off them. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna, we're not gonna contribute to them getting pregnant at 16. That shit's lost. You know what I'm saying? And so again, what Rock spoke, like, being the change that you want to see. So to my detriment, I'm trying to be a little more mindful now, but to my detriment, I made a decision a while ago that I'm no longer gonna drive by and see injustices or fucked up shit happening and I keep going, right? I'm not a law official. I'm not a vigilante. You know what I'm saying? But there was something happening at the Boys and Girls Club on Talbot Ave. I seen it happening before it was going to happen. It was a massive girl fight. I literally jumped out of my car on Talbot Ave while it was running, got out and tried to break it up and carried the girl on my shoulder and get home 40 minutes later. And my daughter's like, oh, so you think you're Superman, huh? That shit went viral. And then my other daughter came home like, oh, I seen you on such and such. And it's shared around. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm happy that they seen that, because they seen their father standing for something. Right, and all too often, us and our age group, and it's really sickening, where we'll see some shit happen and we'll see somebody getting stomped out. And the first thing we do is, World Star, what up, baby?
Exactly. You're right.
And that shit, it can't happen.
You know what it is? Because me and Jermaine were talking one time about it. And what's happening right now is we're missing the OGs. There's no OGs no more, right? Because the OGs now, they want to be cool. So they're now reverting to doing whatever the youth is doing, as opposed to being a fixture in the community saying, nah, that ain't the way to go. You know what I mean? Right. And the fact that we're missing the OGs, outside of what you did, which is tremendous, right? Because that's what OGs was supposed to do, right? And so that's a missing commodity in the hood nowadays. And you see it every day.
Well, that plus the OG, everything's warped, right? So the OGs now are technically 23-year-olds. And that's a fact. Like a 23-year-old, there's nothing OG about that. I don't care if you've been in the street since you were 12. But that's just where it is now, where there's a lack of respect. Like, and it's funny because the music that we listen to, it's a lot of unlearning in our culture. It's a lot of there's a lot of damaging shit that we celebrated for 1 million years. So everything from the Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg video, I think Nothing But a G Thing or Dre Day, where they come behind a girl and they rip her thing off. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Nothing but a G Thing video.
Or like Revenge of the Nerds, I think, where it was like I think it was a scene like, I think it was like alluding to gang rape or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that we laughed at that as you go through therapy, as you do knowledge yourself, and you just be like, you know what? That shit's not cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's not funny anymore. And like Game's record, I think One Blood, you 36 and you still rapping, or whatever he said, right? And now look at him. You know what I'm saying? We all should want to have a birthday. Like, getting older is not it's not a bad thing.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? So like, it's looked at like that. So all the people who are 40, it's like, fucking old heads over there. But all of us on this call, we went to them and respected what they said because they had been through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son's never going to tell me how shit works. I don't care how much TikTok and fucking YouTube and Snapchat he knows. He does not know how the world works. So he's going to listen to me. And that's just that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, brother. I don't know about that. So as an example, like, and I hope we're just talking about street culture or my son educates me on a lot of different things lately. You know what I mean? Because I think I'm coming from an era where a lot of it was manual. A lot of it was time consuming. And my son comes from a time, he's 21 now. He comes from a time where, you can be more efficient. You can be a little bit more streamlined in what you're trying to accomplish. Yo, Dad, you don't need 36-inch subwoofers out here, B. Like, you can get something nicer and put them in the wall and hide it. And so I started to say, little nigga, you can't tell me a motherfucker thing. I started saying that. I said, okay, nigga, hey, shut up, nigga. I've been doing this for a long time.
Word.
And he's like, all right, but I'm just telling you. And then I try this shit secretly, right? I'm like, yo, this shit ain't bad. You know what I mean? I think you can, some of these little niggas can give you some game. You know what I mean? And that's okay. It's our job as the OGs, right? To be able to say, you know what? This is the time to implement this. This is the time to, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? It's really about discernment. It's really about saying, hey, let's flush out a good idea. Whether it comes from me or whether it comes from you, a 21-year-old. I don't care where the idea comes from, but let's flush it out. And make sure
what I feel like what you're talking about is more, technological advances.
Sure.
Right? Like there's certain things like we all knew, and there's, it's almost like people don't even talk about it. We all knew in real time when that was happening, what Tekashi 6ix9ine was doing was wild.
Yeah.
Right? Even Rock not living in that and going through it and being in the streets knew that that's kind of wild. You can't do that. There's a certain code of ethics that you follow. I'm not talking about what eventually ended up happening. I'm talking about in the moment, him going to LA, going to Chicago, suck my dick, blah, 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 blah. All right. We know how that goes. We've seen that story before. So that's age, right? Him and his generation feel like that shit's okay. We come from, if you tell a man to suck your dick, you better be ready to really that's it.
Square up.
I am 40 and I'm still not going to be walking around and somebody say that to me and I'll be like, oh, that's funny, bro. That shit's not funny. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is my son, I haven't had that conversation with him, but that shit's not cool. He doesn't hear me saying that to my friends joking. So that's like an age thing that can, you know what I'm saying? Like pull your pants up. I definitely like to have my pants sag. However, when I see dudes walking and you can see their full cheeks, kind of crazy.
Wow, that's spectacular. That's
I almost want to go over there and fucking smack their cheeks.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing, yo? That's age.
Let me go back. Let me go back real quick. I'm sorry, P, and then you can go. I have had that conversation about Tekashi 6ix9ine with my 21-year-old. And my son said to me, yo, like, Dad, this ain't your era. Like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to Tekashi. Like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him. In your day, somebody would have found him just off the strength of saying that. It didn't matter what block he was on. So I gave my son enough game to know what were the repercussions of my time.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, but while those were the repercussions of your time, let somebody pull that shit in 93. Nah, son. But what my son can tell me right now is in 2022, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Because there's gonna be cameras everywhere. There's gonna be all kind of media coverage. There's gonna be all this. And somebody's gonna go live. It's not gonna happen. Ain't no real gangsters out here no more.
But what's interesting to that point? I mean, not that I really care to go too deep into it, but I feel like there's a lot of incidents where today's generation kind of don't. There's a lot of people that don't care about the cameras. It's almost like they want to be known for committing the crime and letting everybody see it. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I think it's crazy. But I don't know.
It's terrible, and we saw that recently on the news. I mean, Jones, you didn't see it down there with the guys' headstones being taken and brought to another hood, and like that. Yeah. That's just an indictment of just how this generation is.
Yeah,
like
you're talking about,
that's the shit you want to put on camera, on your live, on your social media. Like, yo, yeah, we at the grave site, and yo, we just did this, that, and that. Like.
Yeah, in Boston, right?
Wild. That's
in Boston.
Yeah.
That was
I read
but
that.
but you know what? Like I remember when that I can't pinpoint it, but I remember when that type of stuff started to happen. So I remember when the dudes ran in Soldier Boy's house. I remember when the dude duct tape, they ran this house and they punched them and sucker punched them and they fought. I remember like all these things that were like captured on video. And I'm like, wow, this is different. Because again, regardless of what street involvement you had, right? We all come from, especially with the neighborhoods we were in, we kind of veered off from the camera. We didn't run to it.
Yeah. Right.
Now people are like, yeah, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? And, World Star contributed to that. I love that two entrepreneurs, I believe two black men. I mean, Q died, but I believe it was two of them. I love that two entrepreneurs had an idea and made something of it. I hate what it represents.
Yeah.
I feel like it represents the worst of us. You know what I'm saying? There should be no site where you can click on and see somebody getting beaten with a metal pipe. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's interesting about that too? It's now become a tool used by people who are against our community, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tool to say,
Big time.
oh,
Big
well,
time.
we could give them grant funding to build something, but look how they act.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And like,
but the thing is, right? And so again, I lean into this and I'll have this conversation. And so, I depending on what mood I'm in, I may not wear black dollar. So I went to it was related to something I'm involved in, but I went to a breakfast this morning and it was Gateway to Ireland. It was like a tech breakfast, right? And so they had like bagpipes outside and it was all Irish, you know what I'm saying? And it was probably 4 black dudes there, right? Now I'm not the most interested in wearing, I mean, I was dressed in a suit, but like I wouldn't wear like a black dollar shirt to that, right? And it's not that I'm ashamed, but I'm just not really interested in explaining to each person the point of black dollar. However, if I'm walking down Newbury Street or Boylston Street, yeah, I'll have my black dollar hoodie on. You know what I'm saying? And the point of me saying all that is I no longer care about going where I'm tolerated. I want to go where I'm accepted. So as far as artists, every year people want to boycott the Oscars or the Grammys or whatever it is because it's not inclusive. But the moment they win, they're so happy and they're thanking God and they're crying. And we have the NAACP awards, or we have, whatever, right? The Vibe Awards that used to happen, like people don't show up. You know what I'm saying? And and they're being revered and we love them and they're not there. So that's a whole thing and again, we think white ice is colder. So the Grammys mean more to you than this award. The Oscars mean more to you than NAACP award, right? That's a deep inherent thing that people are not addressing. I'm not necessarily interested in trying to go out and convert. I'm speaking to people who get it, who are looking for something different, who are tired of feeling like they have to fight to get a seat at the table and want to try to make their own table. But everybody ain't gonna come along, Right. Tyler Perry is a perfect example of taking something and leaning into his niche audience and creating a dynasty from that. I don't fuck with Madea at all. I can care less about it. However, he has Tyler Perry Studios. I seen it. The shit's on a highway. It says Tyler Perry Studios, exit here. That's like, are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
You can't, what the Asians do with Chinatown, or if you go to Quincy, or I was just somewhere in Brighton, that whole little Harvard Street, like what the Asians do and what they've done. And when there's ever political climates, you never see them out campaigning and like, being for or against somebody, because they have made their own powernomics, group economics, where they are self-sufficient. It can care less whether you're Republican or Democrat. Yep. But when Kim Janey's running, everyone has an opinion. Andrea Campbell's running. Everyone has an opinion.
Word.
Michelle Wu, because I looked, and there were Asians, of course, right? But I didn't see them online. And when I tell you I looked up her name and searched, I spent hours doing it. I did not see people saying fuck Michelle Wu and she's not for us and blah blah. I did not see it. So I am now trying to follow the people that have done it successfully, and that's who I'm modeling things by. And that's it. We don't have to recreate the wheel, yo. It's been done and it's being done all the time. So, you know, that's like a mic drop statement.
Yeah.
And just so you know, that's Roxbury talking. I just wanted to. I just wanted to sprinkle. I wanted to sprinkle that in like E40.
So, Black Dollar, the project. Can we talk about music for a little bit? Is it just songs? Is it gonna be a full-length album? Like, what can we, the consumers, expect from Black Dollar musically, the group?
So I'm gonna jump in real quick.
Okay.
So we have you know, we have a single that we dropped over the past summer, Soul Intact, featuring Cyrus, The Shield. Shout out to Cyrus. We actually have an album that's completed. For several different reasons, including some business reasons and being strategic. We are still working out on a plan to introduce more songs to come.
Okay.
All right. Without getting too deep, the on the business side, this again, we're about Black Dollar and we want to monetize. We want to have a powerful message. We also want to monetize. And this business is it's very easy to spend money and not see a return if you're not very careful with how you, like, you know what I'm saying, connect all the dots. So I think that we're taking our time to figure out ways that we can release music in the most impactful way. But to your question, yes, we have an album that's completed, and we can definitely expect more music to be released.
And you know, so Soul Intact, which, you know, we're super proud of, you know, and even though it's you know, we're called Black Dollar and that's what the messaging is, the song, you know, is not so much about group economics and whatever. Like, there's little gems in it, and I think Rockland and I both took the medicine and the candy approach. You know what I'm saying? So there's little things sprinkled in that you'll catch. You know what I'm saying? And like, even the people that are in the video are pillars in the community that like are inspiring and mean something, and they're our treasures and our gems. You know what I'm saying?
Love the video. Love the video.
You know, and thank you, man. And you know, like, you know, everyone that's in the video, no one heard the song, but they came off the strength of, yo, this is what we're doing, and they wanted to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the next video that we're doing is called Good Enough. And it's about, you know, our perspective from being in a relationship. We're both married, you know what I'm saying? And just transparency, you know, one of the ways that we really got closer and bonded was from difficulties navigating in the marriage space. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And being there as brothers and fellowship, you know, and our wives bonding, and also, you know what I'm saying, and it got, especially during a pandemic, you know what I'm saying, it really got us through. If it wasn't for that time, you know, I don't know if myself and my wife, or Rock and his wife, would still be in a space now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was that real. So Good Enough is the perspective of both of us. And the next video is going to be centered around domestic violence and the toxicity between us and our women. Which is for clarity different from our situation. Yeah. And it was inspired. Yeah, it was inspired. You know, and I talked to Rock, and I think because the song itself has nothing to do with domestic violence. However, I personally was so there's certain things that happened in my life that changed my life forever. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey being murdered changed my life forever. You know what I'm saying? Deja Star change, that changed me. Sherelle Pringle, that changed me. So this video is going to be addressing those things, and everything that we're doing with our art. We want it to be impactful and provocative and thought-provoking, and hopefully inspire the change that we want to see. You know, so there's not going to be anything gory where somebody's being punched in the face or somebody's being murdered. However, you know, the video is going to be very, very intentional and special. And the leading lady that's in it, I think you all know, or at least have seen. So this will be very interesting. And yeah, so that's being worked on now. So
Maine, let's take a second and let's do this, because I think when I saw that Soul Intact video, I was super impressed. First off, I think it was a quality situation. So let's do something like this, if this works for you. And let's just drop the joint.
Word.
Oh, that's itchy. Fresh out of boat, out of the caravan to the booth. Don't gotta glow, I been in the moat. Gotta secure the fork before I move. I done seen, done heard, done did it. Beat stitched all in my fitted. Middle finger going up my critics. You snuck through the back door and I'm in it. Yeah, half of them shit and I know about me. Instead of my moolah all got me. If you really wanna know about me, ask the ones that got love by me. Not gon' studying under my desk, lurking under my flesh, hating my best. Why I'm acing my test? Baby, I'm blessed. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. Stayed up on my own wave. Yeah, still got trauma playing. Body in the street like Udi and Crusade. Yeah, hope we get scripted, but I'm trying to build something here. Ain't no never nothing strong, I'm here. Yeah, in the face of diversity, I be the one showing up, turning up every year. I'm on every year. Yeah, you ain't never walk a mile in my shoe. You ain't never rock a crowd like I do. Keep my soul, don't it shine when I move. Keep my soul, don't it shine when I move. You done came up, took a few losses, staring in the mirror and your soul still shining. You done felt hate, you done felt love, and all of the above, and you know you're still grinding. I'm at it so facts, my skin is still black. I'm rolling up juice with a chicken fall back. My soul intact, my soul intact, my soul intact, my soul intact, my soul intact.
My soul is intact, surface scratch, but I'm still pristine. Condition for adult supervision, my thoughts create the scene. I brought the clean when dirty pervaded, no kidding me. I focus on my line boundaries, part in my symmetry. Clear with the message and in black, excellent with the imagery. King's English, but rep the barriers, African wizardry. This the epitome, mixing Malcolm and Garvey chemistry. What a touch of Ermi is victory, lapping around enemies. Vision board hanging the castle from egg-colored ceilings be. Tariq try to mind state thoughts of black intentionally. Walking my size 10 purpose and no wrong identities. Get in the way of our progress, airing out your vicinity.
You ain't never walk a mile in my shoe. You ain't never rock a crowd like I do. Keep my soul, don't it shine when I move. Keep my soul, don't it shine when I move. You done came up, took a few losses, staring in the mirror and your soul still shining. You done felt hate, you done felt love, and all of the above, and you know you're still grinding. I'm at it so facts, my skin is still black. My rolling up shoes with a chicken fall back. My soul intact, my soul intact, my soul intact, my soul intact. Got my
family, success, wealth, and the almighty black dollar.
My soul is intact, my vision is so clear, my energy so high, plus my attitude's no fear. I was reaching them levels, they said I would never go there. Now they call me your boss, it's right, I move like a pro here. Got me feeling like, oh yeah, you see see how that man vicious, and look how we ambitious. The way that he handle business and grant wishes for the future of his children. This is how it look. Show me respect. You can call me sir like Howard Cook. Don't disrespect. I am a king and I am not a crook. Try to act fool, I turn up dude like I'm from the brook. When you get ignorant, we get intelligent. We strip away your false embellishments. We black and excellent. Tell them this. We be the lyrical specialists. Tell them this. We out to hit our goals and never miss. Tell them this. So all my leaders and my activists moving forward through the struggle, putting up that black fist.
Dope.
Yo, man.
That was definitely dope.
Yo, man.
Yo, Rock, was that Rocky?
Hell yeah.
I was like, hold up, I see you. Well, you know, like 95% of the cast personally yourself is like,
That's hard.
Hey yo,
and like y'all giving everybody their flowers, man. That's dope.
Word, man. That's love, man.
Little last week, you yelled at Toot Whalen, right? For not having us in the film. If I remember that correctly, correct?
I did. I definitely did.
Want that same energy right now for Black Dollar for not having Sparring Minds in the video, B.
Well, listen. Me and Danielle go way back a long time, you know, and we from Roxbury, so I'm gonna catch up with him. You know.
Yeah, that needs to be. You know,
we're gonna talk about this over some Slade's chicken one of these days. We definitely are.
Hey, well, we got more videos to shoot, fellas.
Yeah.
Hey, Rock, I'm gonna have to come out. I'm gonna have to come into Dorchester. I don't really try to venture over to Dorchester too much, but I'm gonna have to come out. We all gonna have to talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm gonna keep it real. Like I joke with the Dorchester Roxbury, and I don't mean to leave out Mattapan. Mattapan get crazy.
It's a trophy.
I ain't going.
Let's bring that up a little more clarity there.
I ain't mad.
Nah, it's all strictly jokes with us. It's all strictly jokes.
I got crazy love for the Berry, y'all.
Yeah.
Like to the point where me and my man Shiz back in high school. He was from the Berry, whatever.
John Hines.
Huh? Nah. I said Shiz on purpose because I ain't saying his name. But
okay.
But I was like, yo, I'm from Dorchester. I represent Dorchester to the fullest, but ain't nobody dissing the Berry. He'd be like, yo, tell him Rock. There's too much history. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on some real stuff, like our people, like anyway, there's just too much rich history there, yo. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the Berry made me want to represent Dorchester so hard.
Word.
When you passed Grove Hall going into the Berry, you already knew what time it was.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just facts. You know what I'm saying? So
so to the point of the video, like, you know, as Rock said, we're definitely shooting more videos. That first video, you know, was again, you know, I say intentional. It was an intentional effort for, you know, business owners and services that, you know, we put our stamp on, right? Because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So just because, you know, you got a paint company, you might be janky. So I don't want Black Dollar stamping that approval. I want to treat us the same way like Phantom Gourmet. When you see something on Phantom Gourmet, you're like, oh, let me go. You know what I'm saying? Or you see a Phantom Gourmet sticker in a restaurant, you're like, oh shit. So, you know, like the people that are in it, you know what I'm saying? Like either Rock knew or kind of met or whatever, but I had like a solid relationship. Like Conan Harris is a solid, you know what I'm saying? Like undeniable. Thaddeus Miles, undeniable. Julia Mejia, like for people to say our vote doesn't matter, she's living, breathing proof of winning based off of a recount, and she won by 1 vote the first time. And she's the first elected Latina into the city council ever. You know what I'm saying? Amazing. So that's historic. You see Ayanna Presley in it. She has a little cameo. We're at Black Market. What Chris and Kai have done in single-handedly putting that there in Nubian and having a space for Black creatives and people to actually, you know, do business, right? That's all intentional shit. So we and Norvia, who is not Black in the sense of me, right? She's Latina, but she identifies as Black because she knows she gets discriminated on the same way. Right. So she opened her restaurant to us. You know what I'm saying? We had anything that we wanted to do, and I'm so appreciative. So we featured her.
What was that restaurant? That was Fort Hill, right?
Yeah,
Fort Hill Bar and Grill. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
she, Novia, she has been the sole owner this whole time. So this little powerhouse lady, probably 5'2", is running that place by herself.
Yeah,
and you got Kamisha Janey, who does business credit. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, we wanted to make sure that we highlighted, because we didn't want to just have it where all our rap homies come and they do their fucking no offense, but kind of offense. But when you have a bunch of rappers and they all have their monkey suits on and shit, and they all kind of like this, and it's like, that's not what the video is about, right? And so like Joey Benjamin's, like, I love him.
Shout out Joey. Shout out
Joey Benjamin.
Like, so and even having what is it, Blue Mountain or Blue Hill?
Blue Mountain.
Got the name.
Blue
Mountain. I go there all the time, but like, I love their food.
Marcia.
So it was important to show these things in the video as our best. And everything in that video, for me, right? These are the two things I'll say. And this is the difference of generation. So we talk about generation, right? I feel like we're all like in the same age bracket. So there was a thing coming up where, like, you can't bite somebody, you can't steal. You know what I'm saying? That's like rule number one. You can't do that. You can't spit somebody else's rhymes. That was a crime, right? Nowadays, it's a little different. But being inspired by something and then creating something of your own, like, that's beautiful. And as an MC, I love that. So that video for me is Black Dollar's version of Entrepreneur that Pharrell and Jay-Z did. Wow. So if y'all haven't seen that video, look at that video and look at what they did in that video. And I watched that video one time. I watched it one setting. I watched that video about 15 times. And I actually cried when I watched it the second time.
D, I remember us talking about it when that released. Matter of fact,
yes,
yeah, that's right.
So and it's the beauty and it's the power and the same feeling I got when I went to see Black Panther, where it showed the best of us and the possibilities and just beautiful. And it's not Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society and New Jack City and Clockers. It's just it's love and it's power and it's ingenuity and it's wealth. So everything in Soul Intact is the best of us. You know what I'm saying? And Rock's wife is in it. She's smiling. She has a cameo. Our sons are in it. That's legacy. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So it's intentional. It's all intentional.
And real quick, can we give a shout out to my brother Sean Brown, who gifted me with the trophy after we took down Roxbury this year. You know what I mean? So I just got to shout out Big Bro.
Hey, Rock, you see why I gotta keep going back and forth? It's this way all the time, man.
I know.
So,
I got nothing but love from Dorchester.
Listen.
Salute.
So after I just said such beautiful, inspiring words, you take the opportunity
just to throw a shot. Man. That's the Dorchester cats, boy.
Hey, man. Yeah, I know.
To be honest, I mean, just to kind of keep it going,
in the video.
I think nobody got it worse than Roxbury and Mattapan heads. I don't know what it is. And I think it's more so on the Roxbury side. I just think that, like, if they're in Mattapan, it's like the world has ended. Like, they just like seriously, it's like it's real bad.
Yo, I swear to God, I have an anxiety attack going through Mattapan Square. I swear to God.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that traffic be crazy, man.
I'm not doing it.
Terrible, man. But
Soul Intact video was dope. Sparring Mind's gonna shout out also one name that I know you guys love, Danielle Johnson. She's we really fuck with her.
Yes, the first person. Yeah.
We fuck with them.
What she has done, you know what I'm saying? That's the point of the video. What she has done single-handedly, that's the point. What Taylor Andre is doing and continues to do, that's the point. So it's all intentional. It's bigger than Black Dollar, but it's all of us collectively showing up with our excellence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Me and Daniel go back and forth, but I respect everything she's done. She's definitely put in the work. I salute her wholeheartedly.
Littles, time for that mirror time, God.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're wrapping up right now, fellas.
Yeah, man.
So, but this is something I struggle with a lot because, Charles may say something crazy to me, and I just gotta sit there and go back at him. I just gotta prove a point, whatever. But sometimes as a people, we gotta make our peace of mind more important than proving a point. And so basically, that's the mirror time today. But Jermaine's forcing my hand right now with all this Dorchester talk. It definitely is.
That mirror time ties into tomorrow's Painfully Honest too. Make sure y'all tune in for that.
Make sure y'all
check
we want to
and make sure y'all check out Black Dollar.
Definitely want to thank you guys for coming through, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, this is something that I was looking forward to, and even though most of it was spent off of music, it was a beautiful conversation.
Yeah,
it was something that needed to be had. And like I said, I salute you, brothers. You brothers have personally supported me on many levels. So you know what I mean. You already
they definitely made me reevaluate myself because my dollar definitely, does not circulate longer than 2 minutes in our community. I definitely gotta.
But that can change. That can change,
brother. Yeah,
that can change.
Definitely gotta make some changes.
Word up.
Word, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. Black Dollar. You already know what it is.
Salute y'all, fellas. Thank y'all.
Thanks for having us. God bless y'all.
Thank y'all, man.
Already.